In the cockpit I sit tight, virtual flight diaries, we take flight. With the click the world spins round, in my seat I'm high above the ground. Realistic view so clear and bright, through the screen I soar up to the night. Clouds below, I feel so alive. In this world there's nothing I can't survive. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be far. Bow is splashing, engines purring. In this world we're free from the earth and sphere. Throttle wide open, throttle wide open. We dive and climb in this digital ocean. Lights flicker, the world so vast. Every turn a new adventure starts. From the ground to the highest peak in the world of flight, we're just beginning to speak. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be far. Through the storm, through the calm, in this world we face it all. From the runway to the final glide, in the world of flight we find our stride. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we'll reach for the stars. In the realm of flame, we'll never be far. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we'll reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be far.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream by Virtual Flight Diaries. And today is release day for the Black Square Caravan Pro, and we have it. We're here in Papua New Guinea. Hey, Drunk Billy, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. How are you? It's here. It's here. So, I figured everybody's going to be streaming this plane. That's no doubt. So, everybody's going to be streaming this plane, and everybody's going to be doing maybe some quick bush country ops in maybe Alaska or maybe Eastern U.S. I'm sure some of the European guys are going to be over in Europe with this plane. And I also know some of the people are going to probably be doing feeder ops with the FedEx livery and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? Back in 2020, when I did On Air company, I ran a Papua New Guinea company, and I flew over here, and I'm like, this would be the perfect place to test this plane out, and so that's why we're here. So we're going to do a couple flights. We're going to be going to let me see here. We're at oh I'm not going to talk. We're at Garoga, which, if anyone is familiar with Missionary Bush Pilot, this is his home base. And we are going to fly first to a place called Bundi. And it's a quick flight over the mountain here. And then from there, we're going to go to Tep Tep. And then Sindeni. And then we're going to drop off our cargo. So we're going to mimic a cargo run where we're picking up coffee from the mountain villages to sell in Nasdaq, or Nadzab, Leh City, which is one of the port cities in Papua New Guinea. So it should be a fun one. They're fairly quick. They're not far apart. The airports. I also picked some of the more laid back ones. There are some airports here in New Guinea in the Highland Mountains that make Lukla look like you're trying to land at JFK. So this is a 2024 native aircraft, so we're going to have some walk around features. You can pull the chocks. Close these up. So we're only taking a couple 100 pounds to the first airport. Bundi, we're going to have just some supplies, just some medical supplies. To take with us. We're already loaded up. So the only thing I did notice is that when you do load cargo, it doesn't show up in the back here. That would have been pretty cool. But I get it. Maybe in the future. So in our walk around, you definitely want to make sure you come back here and you flick this little switch. This is a wind lock for the rudder. And if you don't, you're going to find out in the worst possible way that you're not going to be flying for very long. So all right, so we got around, and we didn't remove our engine covers. Let me check to make sure that our turbine is free. I did do some flying, so we're actually a little dirty. I was took it for a quick flight out just to check it out. I tell you what, this plane is amazing, guys. We're all fueled up. Get the door closed and locked. All right, so we got our fuel on board. It is the black square tablet that we're all used to. And we got about 200 pounds of cargo on board. Let's actually move this back to zone. There we go. Let's do zone 1. So you're going to have to think about, so you're going to want to look at this. So we're pretty forward on our CG. I bet if we put, we'll come back a little bit on that. All right, we got 2 hours of fuel. That should be enough. We can refuel at one of the mountain airports. They do have fuel there. All right, so yep. So typical thing, we got we got the engine thing. We can clear the engine. We can clean the filters. We can repair the starter because you can cook it. recharge the battery. You do have ground power, just not here at Garuka at this position. Let's just say you got the cabin temperature. It's not too bad actually, 68 degrees. And then you got the typical failures. I do have the failures turned on, but they're in real time. So, and then of course we got the whole layout of different GPSs. We're going to use the GTN 750 just because it's an amazing piece of equipment. So I have the TDS GTN XI. You guys saw my other Black Square streams recently. We were talking about that. And I'll show you really quick because not a lot of the airports are actually in Navigraph, but they are in the simulator. So we can actually create user waypoints to kind of get us a flight plan. So I'll show you how to do that in the GTN 750 and the PMS 5 or the PMS 50 GTN. I believe it works the same way, so it should help with that too. All right, so we're going to get started. Here we're going to need, first that comes on is our fuel, left and right, and battery power comes on. The sounds are unreal. Let me turn the sounds up. So in all the other Black Square airplanes, Boris did the sound pack for this. So we got this one. All right, we're idle. Actually, we're not in idle. There we are. Idle, forward cutoff, flaps up. Firewall cutoffs are all in. We can then go fuel boost to on. Avionics 1 can come on.
TOS, system test okay.
I am sporting the 430 here. It's just for backup. That's the off. All right, so we are okay there. So we need, check our batteries. That looks good. We come down here. We got the nav lights, or the nav lights can come on, and the beacon can come on. This is the cabin power. All right. And we're ready to go. Let's start it up. Clear prop. So we're going to max motor. We're actually going to be looking for hung starts and hot starts, which can happen. Fuel coming in. Start her off. Reset the gen. Full boost to normal. So one of the things I didn't notice, and I'm wondering if it is the the black square model for noise canceling. You know, where you put the headphone jacks in. I haven't seen that, but that's okay. All right, so avionics 2 can come on, and we go full power. She is a little hard to taxi. You're going to have to kind of fiddle with beta and brake, but she gets a little fast on you if you keep it in idle. One of the things you can do, although it's not a real world operation, is you can put it in low idle, and that can help you out a little bit. I'll be able to shut this off. Oh well, that's fine. We'll keep it running. All right, so our first airport, Bundi. Wait. So just a real quick thing. So in the GTN, to create a user waypoint, there's two things you can do. So since the airports are in the system, so you can go up here to your flight planner. You come up here in AYDI, you go to Bundi, and right here you got position. So you got your lat and longitude in that tablet there. So we come back here and you just click anywhere on the screen. And you'll see this map pointer, create waypoint. Now you can create a waypoint from the position you clicked. That's what this is. Or you can go custom. So you just come here and, you know, clear it out, and you can call it anything you want. I just put in the the airport name, and then you can come down here, you click it as an airport, so then it'll add the elevation to the waypoint. And then you can put here in the comments and then, you know, the position type is lat and longitude. And then right down here, it comes to this screen. So then you look over here and, you know, south, clicks on that, and then you just type it all in, 054443. And east, 1451364. And you hit enter, and it'll create the new waypoint. I already created the waypoint here, so I don't want to duplicate. So when you come back to your flight plan screen, you can go AYDI, and it comes up user waypoint. Enter that in there, and we're good to go. That goes on standby. So let's and have in my notes. Found my book from my 2020 days. So we got at 44,000 feet in runway 3335. So let me kill you 3335. So it's just going to set the course. We don't have any VOR here. But it's a just a reference. This is going to be our runway line. So when we get out there over in the mountains and in the jungle, we kind of have a reference of where the directions for the runways. We will be coming in on 1-5. All right, so we are in. Since it's a user waypoint, you're not going to get any distance model or time to or anything like that. But you definitely will be able to navigate yourselves there. All right, so let's go, and I'll keep it. I think 7,000 is VFR. We got no ATC on, so we're just having some fun with this plane. So let's go. Let's go do some bush flying, guys. All right. So parking brake off. So you're gonna really want to ride the beta. You guys are really interested in like some real world flying in Papua New Guinea. That YouTube channel, Missionary Bush Pilot, he flies a Kodiak for a cargo supply and transport company, and it's some really cool stuff. And I mean, he gets really in depth with things. If you are a Patreon member of his, he's got all his flight plans and stuff and charts available to you. I'm unfortunately not a Patreon member. It's a little on the pricey side, his memberships, but I watch all his YouTube videos. And I'll be honest with you, this area is my relaxing in the sim. So I do virtual airline stuff and everything like that, but if I had a one of those days, I just come home from work and I pop in and start flying around in Papua New Guinea. It's relaxing for me. Some of those airports, man, they're crazy. They're 1,200 feet long, 12 to 15% grade on the side of a mountain. No charts. That's why I have I made little notes. All right, so we do flaps 20 for takeoff. I mean, we could do flaps 10 because it's a long runway, but we're gonna kind of get our bush flying skills in. So when you take off in these airports in the mountains and the highlands, you're going to want to just kind of get up in the ground effect and then build speed before you do a climb out. Billy says nothing's more relaxing than inhumane approaches. Exactly. All right, so we're going to take off. It's going to be a straight out kind of departure. We're going to kind of just weave ourselves up into the mountains. Swing ourselves around here. Get lined up. Kind of let my momentum go. All right, so there's a couple things you would want to do. If you would want to look and see if you're on an unimproved surface, you're going to want to pull the inertia separator. But we won't do that until we're landing at Bundi, so we don't need it here. All right, so lights can come off, strobes. And we'll just put the pitot heat in because we'll be climbing up in the mountains. It's going to cool off. All right, ready to go. So we're going to bring it up, bring the torque up. Holden's in the chat. Yo, yo. All right, guys, ready for takeoff? Bring it up to the line here. You can see here there's a little takeoff mark. Let me bring it back just a little bit. And there's 80 knots. And we'll bring it up into ground effect. And gain some speed. And climb on out. Oh, hey, Limp. Welcome aboard. I'm gonna try your luck at some in crazy bush flying. All right, so we trim it out. This thing is just a joy to hand fly, guys. It's I don't know. I can't. Thousand. You need to learn how to fly the plane. Oh, this is nothing but a oversized 172. Right, let's put the radar on. So we're going to come out over here. We're going to kind of slink up through the mountains here. And we'll bring the torque back. We don't want to be flying at takeoff power. I'll bring it back to 1500 and then I will bring the prop back to 1950. And we can go 1700 on the torque. There's our cruise set. And we'll bring the flaps up. Gain some more speed. Trim it out. I'm going to come out over here, and I think I'm going to go. Let's see. We're going to look and see what these mountains look like. When I was doing the test run, the weather was a little rougher, so we could actually, if we wanted to, we could actually climb right up. We want to get up over this ridge. This notch right here. Sorry, 1,000 feet because I have 9,000 set in the autopilot. Start making our way over to this notch. I need to learn how to fly the 172 as well. I don't know, that's funny to me. Most people start their flight sim careers with the 172. If you can handle that Comanche, you can handle this plane. You started yours in the A320? All right, go big or go home. This is why I set 9,000 in the autopilot, because we needed to be at 9,000 to cut through this notch. You can see I'm not turned on the autopilot at all. Well, when we go over to Tep, I'll turn on the autopilot because it's a little bit of a, we're going to be flying across this valley here. And it's a little bit of a longer flight to Tep.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Got to shut off the terrain inhibit. Yeah, it looks like they didn't bring it over to the marketplace, which is not good in my opinion. That's kind of disenfranchising a lot of people. All right, so we're going to stay pretty much at this altitude. I'm going to swing around over here. Kind of just hug this ridge on out. You can see, guys, all trimmed out. It flies really nice. The flight model on this thing is so for the bundle pack, it's $64.99. If you owned the $64.99 US, if you owned the steam gauge Caravan in 2020, you got a $13 discount. Then I had some points, so I think I paid for the bundle. I paid like 40. Something like $47 or $48 with tax. Am I on live weather? Yes, I am. Unless I'm weather bugged again. All right, so our airport's right over here. I'm at 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll see. When I get over, I'll reload into the sim because we're not. Because it should be live weather. It should be cloudy as well. And that's the thing too. When I. What is our barrow? Yeah. See, I'm at standard. I don't like that. All right. Well, let's land here. I'll reload into the sim. Because it was kind of stormy earlier. All right, so we're going to want to bring it down to 5,400. So we're going to power back. Bring the torque back. We want the inertial separator, so we'll pull that. It's a mechanical inertial separator. And we'll throw out some barn doors. I want to hug this ridge over here. Let's descend down into the on the downwind. We should be at 5,400 when I turn base. Oh, well, we blew through that one, but that's fine. Want to get too low. Turn in on final. And I missed my turn. Power up. Billy's still far out. We'll just circle back around. I got too low, so you have a hard. You got to make sure you're at your proper altitudes, because with these airports, because they can't see them. I was focusing on the village. So let's get back up to our proper altitude. Thought I could sneak it in there being low, but nope.
500.
And we'll just drop it right in. Flaps up. Parking brake. No idle. Boost pump off. I thought I was fast. I thought I had a little more time. Sorry about that, Billy. All right, and battery off. Got a bunch of other airports to try. So, welcome to Moonday. This airport is on the Orbx. No, this scenery is on the Orbx Highland Papua New Guinea Pack 5, I think it is. This is the newest ones. So this one's optimized for 2024 and has all the 2024 models. But we're going to, yeah, see, well, why? So let's see here. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reload in to here at this airport. So hopefully I don't have to reset the whole sim. So we certainly want real weather and everything like that as we continue on. You know, it's challenging enough. You know, we got to add some more challenge. All right, so let's see if this works. We're going to AYDI. Shut down. Are you kicking around with Delta? So this is not what it's supposed to look like, is it? So this is definitely not a plane issue. This is a sim issue. Restart the whole sim. Oh well, we want it to look good. Hate when that happens. Really frustrating. Good thing it only takes a few minutes to reload. Coming back. Say I'm taking off from Salt Lake City and I'm taxiing in between the two gates. You know where it gets, you know the spot, John, where it gets real choppy. Yeah, there's like a 15 to 20 frame drop right there. Hopefully this fixes it. If not, we're going to be flying in perfect weather again. I don't know what I keep getting every once in a while. I keep getting this stupid weather bug with live weather. It was working earlier where because there was storms that rolled through, so there should be cloud cover. It should be a nice bright shiny day. I thought maybe it moved on, but according to Navigraph, we got rain cloud right over our airport. So oh yeah, I'm gonna go into the same spot. Let's try it a different way. Maybe the in-sim, messing with the in-sim stuff is going. So we are going to AYDI. Bundy. Let's go here. Reset time 7:40 in the morning. Save that and go back. I'm showing clear skies. Even with live weather, I don't got any clouds. So, I don't know. I don't know what's up. No, it wasn't much of a difference. Well, we're just gonna roll with it. It's gonna be a bright and sunny day here in Papua New Guinea. Of course, your Cessna is definitely hovering. Yeah, maybe it'll come in. I don't know. But we're gonna pick up our coffee here. I'm probably having a weather glitch with whatever server I'm connecting onto. So the only thing is, it doesn't save this the options, which I don't really like. So I have to put. I don't know why it doesn't do that. All right, cloud strobe effect. You know, I don't have any clouds. So we're offloading this cargo, and then we're going to take on. Yeah, it's a sim bug. It's a sim bug. As long as we're not flying into the upper flight levels, we should be fine. All right, so we're going to load on. We're taking on 400 pounds of coffee at this location. And let's just simulate we used some fuel up. And cargo door. And let's go to Tep Tep. Let's see. I want to make an adjustment real quick. My noise canceling was shut off, so I had to turn that back on. All right, for my mic. Okay, so nav beacon, battery power on, fuel. Come down here, booster pump on. I have one on. Ignition normal. Prop forward. Idle. Let's go. Put some fuel in.
TOS. System test OK.
And topped out at 685. There, RPM's 50%. Starter off. Fuel boost to normal. And reset the gen. All right. All right, so we're going to Tep Tep next. It's about 80 nautical miles. It's across the valley. So we're going to climb up to 5,500 feet and then just do a slow climb out. So we're going to need to do about 13. We're going to have to top out at about 13,000 to get over the mountain range into Tep Tep. So I had to do the same thing with Tep Tep Airport. It's a custom user waypoint. You were? Oh, it's because AYGA. That's right. Okay, so plan. Let's go remove you. Remove you. And I'm going to go AYDI to AYTP. This should work, hopefully. Yep. Good deal. Put terrain back on, very important here. I think we are ready to go, guys. So this is going to be one of those rough field takeoffs. So we actually should have started with the inertia separator on. So we're going to do flaps 20. That should give us the ability to get into ground effect at about 60 knots. So ready? Let's go. Yeah, so we're going to come back. We'll probably do, I want to do a fly-in out here, and we'll do airports like that one over there. All right, there you go. Bring up the torque. Short field takeoff. So we pull the yoke back. Short field, rough field takeoff. Center line. Bring it up into the ground effect. There we go.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead.
Thank you. And then we'll turn out. As we do the turnout, we will then we'll engage the autopilot. Climb up to 13,000. We'll do 5,500 as our initial climb out. Did bring the flaps in. Gotta trim. All right, guys. We'll get past this mountain, and then we'll do just a shallow climb up to 13,000 feet. And then we'll take a look. It looks like someone's out there with the black square Caravan as well. Perfect place to fly.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Thought I inhibited you. All right, clear the mountains. Let's go. Autopilot on. Nav. So we're going to power back. Get our cruise setting. $1,700. See, this is the relaxing part, and there's one heck of a the views in Papua New Guinea are incredible. Don't know the name of the valley. But you can see the airports aren't on the Navigrav map. They're, but that mountain range right in front of us is where we're going. So we got to cross this valley here. Tep's a pretty easy one to come into. There's nothing too terribly difficult about it. It's nestled in a bowl, so you kind of have to. The downwind is kind of on a like dipping down and around a mountain, which actually gives you good reference points. I don't remember what Sindeni looks like. But if you're just joining us, we are with the Black Square Caravan Pro, just released today. We're in the Super Cargo Master version. And we are simulating a cargo run in the highlands of Papua New Guinea. And we're going around and we're looking for not looking for, we're picking up coffee to be delivered to Nazab Airport for sale. I hope they make a. So Holden says, I hope they make a UPS livery really quick. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. I'm sure by the end of the night, you're going to see a whole bunch of liveries on Flight Sim TO. So we just took off. So we left Garuka and we flew up to Bundi. And we just took off from Bundi, and we're going to actually go. We're going to Tep Tep, then Sindeni, and then we're going to fly down to Nasdaq, which is Leh City, which is a port, to sell all the coffee. And then what they would do, what these cargo companies then would do, is they would take a cut for selling it, and then the profits would then be delivered to the villages. It's not a lot of money. I think there was an episode of Missionary Bush Pride where he broke it down, and it's something like the villagers, for like 250 pounds of coffee, they only get like $25, something like that, $30. Fuel gauges are a chef's kits. We got the we got a subscriber. I'm very sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your YouTube name, but welcome to the channel and thanks for subscribing. Hats off. Hats off in chat. New subscriber. All right. Fuel gauges. Oh, look at that. They actually, so the fuel's sloshing around in the tanks, and it's, you say you're going to Port Moresby and Papua New Guinea? Port Moresby. Now, I don't know where Port Moresby is. Leh City we're going to. Eventually. Eventually we'll get there. So yeah, and then they would deliver the money to all the villagers, and they pretty much do it around. So what they do is they take passengers, they bring maintenance crews for the satellite internet connections out in the villages, and they have medical supplies. They do medical missions. They'll come out, pick up patients and take them to the hospitals in the cities. So it's one of those lifeblood kind of things, lifeline kind of things. So oh, you know what? I don't have the heading markers. I've been in Tep Tep a lot, so I don't need to mark the heading things. You don't really need very much a reference in Tep Tep because it's really easy. There's landmark references for the landing. See, it would have been fun if there was clouds. We could have, it adds an element, because in these mountains, because you want to remain VFR, you're kind of dodging the clouds and stuff. But Microsoft is not cooperating today. Lake City, Papua New Guinea, even better. You don't drink the water there. No. No. We have bottled water. So this is the newer airport in Lake City, Nazab. There was a coastal airport that closed in 1980, and that airport is famous for it was Amelia Earhart's last departure. She left Lake City for Howard's Island, and well, we know the history of that happened there. She's still there. Castaway, right? I subscribe to the theory that she got lost, ran out of fuel, and crashed into the ocean short of Howard's Island. She lives in a hut in one of the villages on Howard's Island. Or she never took off, right? She's still in Papua New Guinea. This plane's a lot of fun. I you know what I think I might do? I might fire up my on-air company and do some more flights over here. All right, so we crossed the valley, so let's check our map. So we're coming into this range here. So the way Tep's laid out is it's kind of on the other side of a ridge in a bowl. It says, so you're going to tell me that she makes it all the way 3/4 around the world and then gets lost half an hour later. Well, it was more than a half hour later. I think it was 8 hours. 8 hours later. Limp's not buying it. Limp's not buying it. Huh? I think she made some mistakes on that last run. I don't think Limp believes the moon landing happened. So nice, easy approach into Tep Tep. Like I said, I didn't make this run too challenging. Of course, I might be wrong about Sindeni. I can't remember if that's an easy one either. What's tough in the sim is flying over here is spotting the airports, because the scenery has a tendency to kind of, you know, like usually the villages are around the airport. But the scenery has a tendency to be looking all the same. So you end up lining up on a village thinking it's the runway, and you go, oh, that's just village in the jungle. So that's also what makes it challenging. It's a little easier if I had head tracking on, because I could, you know, zip around. I still haven't figured out how to get my head tracking to work with chase plane, so. Got Foxfly Pete over there. I don't know what airport's over there. Ooh, that's one of those more challenging ones. So you kind of have to, there's only one way in, one way out kind of deal. You kind of have to dip into the valley here and cut in. Oh yeah, it's spicy. I can't remember the name of that one, but I've come in there. You kind of have to hug that ridge and just cut it in. That's one of those 1,200 footers, I think. There's that dirt strip there as the runway. So this bowl up here is where our airport is. So as we get over this ridge line, you'll be able to see it a little better. Hey, don't bring up Sam Clark. I could be wrong. Maybe it's over this ridge. It's been a while since I've been over here. So yeah, so we got to climb over this ridge. My bad. Was it Trailer Park Boys reference? If anyone caught that one, I'm actually not that familiar with the Trailer Park Boys. I have to take on some fuel when we get there. Yeah, in my opinion, the Papua New Guinea's got way more challenging airports than even the Himalayas. Not even airports, just landing strips. All right, so we're at 13,000 feet. Tep Tep is at roughly 7,000 elevation in a 1,500 foot runway. So just over this ridge. So the lat and longitude doesn't really put us in an exact location. Keep getting my ridges messed up. I'll start descending down. I want to get about 9,000 on the downwind. Inertia separator. So there's Tep Tep right there. We just follow these mountains right around. Throw out first stage of flaps. Turn base, go flaps 20. And we'll turn final. Left full. So like I said, not too terrible. Throw the lights on. You kind of want to go just past the. You don't want to touch down at the end of the runway because there's a hump. So, and I believe that's actually in real life. I'll just roll right into the flare. Be a good view. We can see Billy come in. Parking brake. Nice. And fill the battery. Welcome to Tip Tip. Throw the chocks on because we're pointing downhill. It's a PC6 over there. So that's actually another nice nice plane to use in the Highlands. Is the PC6. What's really cool about that plane, and I don't know, the default PC6s, I don't know. And Holt said that was a great landing. Thanks. But to our credit, this one's fairly easy. I don't remember what Sindeni looks like, so that might be something. The PC6 can actually do reversers in flight, so you can actually go into almost a straight down dive and not exceed like 80 knots. It's wild. You can like come up over these hills here and put it in a straight dive down and just Blackbird Miltech Black or Milviz Blackbird made a one for 2020 that was wild. All right, hey, we have cargo. What the hell? Nice. So it does show up. Wild. I guess you got to put in more than 200 pounds, right? All right, so we're actually going to take on some more coffee here. So we're going to go. We did pick up 400 pounds of coffee over in Bundy. So we're picking up more coffee over here. So that should bring us to 800 pounds of coffee. And we are about 3,000 pounds, still under max takeoff weight. So we're kind of pushing ourselves here to get out of these small strips. All right, so we'll take on some fuel. But all these, so TapTap's actually an earlier one. This is a 2020 compatible to 2024. And this is out of pack 2 of the Orbx scenery. But all in all, if you got all 5 packs, it's something like 25 separate airports. See, now that's nice model matching there. Look at that. I like the colors on that one. All right, so we got our coffee. Let's head over to Sindeni. So this is definitely one way in, one way out type of airports. No click to enter, but that's okay. All right, we're loaded up. Parking brake is on. Let's pull the chocks, put you away. So there is a function with the yoke that'll actually move with the wind over the elevator. I don't fly with the yokes visible, so I don't have it turned on, but it is something if you are one of those people that do fly with the yokes on. It'll simulate the real world plane. All right, so battery on. Fuel on board. Cut off full. Idle full cut off. All right. Leave our inertial separator out. One of the things is if you introduce fuel too early, you can actually get a hot start. Bring about 17, 18. Bring the fuel in. Boost normal. Starter off. Ignition normal. Reset the generator. Drop some beta. Bring it to idle. We're all in the green. Very cool out here. All right. And Avionics 2 can come on. And we are ready to rock and roll. It's that KNS-80 RNAV, which I have zero knowledge on how to use. All right, so Sindeni, what is that? That is AYDY. And this is another somewhat long one, about 70 nautical miles over to Sindeni. So we're not going to be able to turn right out on course. So we're going to take off and we're going to actually slink up through the valley here until we climb out and then do our turnaround. Flaps to 20. So we're going to just slide out to the left, kind of cut up this valley here. Because the mountains are too high, we're not going to be able to outclimb them. All right, ready to go. Now we are much heavier. So each one is going to be just a little bit more difficult. And remember, can't stay in ground effect too long because we got that hump at the end. We try to give ourselves as much runway as possible. So apparently, once you get over 200 pounds, it starts displaying cargo. So that's pretty cool. We'll straighten out on the roll. All right, forward, forward, go. And we're off. We get some speed and we're off. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Let's cut out to the right. We can actually slink up this valley here. I know I said we're going to go this way, but now that I see it, we can actually make it up through here, through this cut. .80 knots. You can bring the flaps, start bringing the flaps in. This is bush flying. Torque back enough. Give that engine some air. So we might have to do a visual inspection of Sindeni because I don't quite remember. Yes, yes, thank you. Yeah, I love this type of flying where you have to kind of just weave your way up. This is just so much fun. This is why I do this to relax. fun factor right there. So we're going to head for that. We're going to point our nose right at that notch, and we should be, our climb rate's good. We should be there. No problem. You can also see why they only do this VOR or VFR only. There's no IFR into these runways. But it's cool when you have to actually plan your departure because of mountains and terrain and whatnot. That's come up through that notch right there. All right, so we'll go 10,000. Yes. So what's cool is there's a little placard right here that does your power settings. So if we had our RPMs at 1900, which we do. Actually, let's bring it back to 1800. And then you get the max torque setting of 1970, but we're going to be 1800. And that's our power settings. I'm sure I'll get my own feel after flying this for a couple hours. It's a little chilly out. It's the air conditioning. Turn the bleed air heat on. So we're going to cross this valley over here. All right, so Sindeni, out of my notes, it's 5,604 feet in elevation and 1,732 feet. So it's a pretty long runway. I'm thinking this is one of the easier ones. I am still looking for the headphone play. Did you find it? Right there, isn't it? I found it. It's just right of the light panel, or just left of the light panel. You'll be able to make it louder though. Oh, pretty much is on off. It's very quiet. It is tucked nicely right out of the way. Just enough I couldn't find it. So after this one at Sindeni, we're going to pick up our final load of cargo, and we're going to head down to Nadzab, which is a international airport. So we'll end the trip on a nice modern tar runway. It's getting dirty. Getting dirty. There's no way to clean the plane on the tablet, so it's got that default I like this livery because it's nice and faded. It's like a very workhorse type livery. The thing is if you follow this river, is where you come down to Lay City. But I think Nick outdid himself Nick from Black Square outdid himself with this one. I'll be honest with you, I haven't found any bugs. I'm sure somebody will, but I haven't found any. That's it. Yeah, it feels alive. Feels like an airplane, man. Absolutely can't go wrong getting this. Even if you've never flown general aviation before and you're like, I'm an airline guy only, I would pick this plane up. The only thing it's missing that I would like to see is, so we have the amphibious passenger and cargo version. I would like to seen a executive, a club seating version, and so like you could simulate like a privately owned. These are all set up for commercial, so they do make a club seating, and I would also like to have seen, pardon me, a combi version where they have like the 4 seats up here and the rest is cargo. But that's probably my only pet peeve, is that we didn't get those. You had a colleague that had a executive model, 90% sure it was a 208. This is go. I read when this came out, Flying Magazine did an article on it, and it touted it as a family SUV kind of plane. Because I mean, this thing's got range. It's if you had, the executive version with the club seating, you put a family of 6 in this thing and go 1,200 nautical miles. I mean, take you 7 hours to do it, but they touted it as the company thing. It was rugged enough to take the family on a camping trip, and docile enough to take your company on a business trip to that regional airport. And they literally call it an oversized 172 with its flight model. The article said the pilots flying it just felt like a big heavy 172. It was very easy to learn to fly. So it's up here in the mountains in front of us. Right off our nose. All right, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Help out the channel. Especially if you like Black Square. Especially if you like Black Square. Let's get some likes. Oh, this is just too quiet. I thought they were. I gotta play around with it. Isn't usually his noise canceling model usually having a volume adjustment? And I don't want to pull a. Yeah, I would like to have seen not the 12 passenger commercial model, but more of hey, I bought this for my own personal use. But it's a small one. It's a small pet peeve. It's really not like the, oh my God, because you don't have it, don't buy it. No, you got to pick this up. I can't wait to see how it handles with the boats, with the floats on it. That's going to be Saturday's stream. Looks like we're gonna be going to Montana. I figured maybe Flathead Lake, and up there we'll pick out a flight. See how far. Maybe we'll leave from Idaho. We'll go from McCall Airport up to Flathead with the float plane, and then do some fishing. Got the parallel 42 Go Fish, so play around with that. What did I say? 50. 600. So 6,600 is our pattern altitude. If anybody watching has any questions about the plane, you guys can ask. I'll try to help. I'll try to answer them as best you can. Only put a couple hours in. I don't know what the Hobbs meter says. Hour and a half. Mostly on this stream. Me personally, I don't have any. I've flown the default a bit, so I'm pretty familiar with it. All right, cool. This is 1,000 times better than the default, though. The whole says, "Oh, I know." So we're gonna look at this airport. And I got 11:29, so. All right, so let's do some hand flying. We'll go see if we can not have to go any higher. Try this valley over here. We got a notch over here. The default flight model is horrendous. I know. I think I loaded in, took off, did a pattern, and never touched it again. So let's try for the right-hand side notch. Should be able to get it. All right, so Sendeni. Honestly, can't remember what this airport looks like. Looks like it's on the other side of this ridge. Well, it said I have to head home. Have a great rest of your stream and a great evening. See ya. Hey, well, thanks for joining along. I was happy to have you aboard. And yeah. Have a good ride home. We're over here. So I think it's on the other side of this ridge. So we're going to come across here and see what's up. $12,000. That beep's just telling me that I'm within the 1,000 foot of what I have set in the altitude. I lose about 5,000 feet, 4,500 feet. I've just been slowly descending, keeping a visual of the mountains. Zip over this ridge. We get a good visual of the airport so we can set up for landing. Just keeps descending down. Now we're back. So the runway is going to be across in front of us. All along this ridge. So hopefully get a good sight picture of it. Feeling it's on the other side of this little mountain here. That's it. They're right there. All right. I'm going to come back. Let's come back around. First stage of flaps. You can throw the flaps out at 170, and then the second stage is 150. So we can actually go to 20 flaps right now. top of this hill here. What am I missing, guys? What am I missing? This is it, isn't it? Let's do a flyover. Make sure. All right, guys. Once again, looking at the wrong one. Taking Billy on a wild goose chase here. You'll be able to just swoop right around. Billy saw it. All right, drop and drop. Full flaps.
500.
Oh, bounce. All right, so that wasn't the greatest. That was not the greatest. That was not the greatest. Ooh. That one was rough. We bounced that one in there. Bounced that one in there. Wow. Parking brake. Well, we can't all be winners. Can't all be winners. What are we doing here? Seconds on that one. It says, nope, sure can't all be me. Well, welcome to Sendeni. So one of the things with these airports in Papua New Guinea is you have to kind of, because there's no, you have to kind of go to them. You have to practice with them. They're all different. I couldn't find it. I was lost and high. I mean, we could have. I didn't have to try to drop and drop. We could have done it right, but which would have been another circle around to lose more altitude. But it's okay. All right, so we're gonna take on our last load of coffee. Throw the chocks on. Well, with these scenery packs, man, it's Austin High, Jesus. But with these scenery packs, it is just beautiful to fly around here. And you can go exploring. Like a lot of these, especially the more recent ones, they have more of the villages modeled, so you can actually go for little hikes into the villages. It's really cool. All right, so taking off here, we got two choices. We got left or right, because you're not going straight. So when we get in, we get back in the plane and load up for our final drop, we will we'll see where we're going here. So we have hour and a half of fuel. Let's take on a little more fuel. And then we're going to go with another 400 pounds. Could be, so our cargo, do we have how much cargo we got on? So 400, 600, 1,000, 1,320 pounds of coffee on board. Pull it in. Villagers will close the cargo door. We'll close this one. Battery on. Sounds in this thing are just amazing.
Pause. System test okay.
You paid for strong landing gear, you use strong landing gear. That's right, Billy. That's right. And you know, good thing we just had cargo. We could bounce it in. All right, fuel boost on. Ignition on. Starter up. And when we get down to our destination, we'll check and see how bad we treated our engine today. Introduce some fuel. So what version did you get? I got both. I got the bundle pack. So that's the passenger version and amphibious cargo. AYNZ. So this is actually in the system. And this one's a short drop. NADZAB. 61 nautical miles. It's our second shortest leg. So Limp says, all right, then I'm keeping up with the Joneses. Both it is. Yeah, you can't go wrong with it. You got so many options with that. And then you'll have the amphibian for Saturday's flight. All right, so starter off, not paying attention. Starter off, ignition to normal. Reset the generator. Fuel pump to normal. I'll get the flow down. Oof. So looks like we're gonna go. We're gonna depart and go left. We're gonna depart and go left, and then we're gonna try to climb up over the mountain in front of us. We're 2,000 shy of our max landing weight. That's where we're at. That goes to standby. That all looks good. All right, I think we're good. Get all our lights on. Ready to go. So get it out of beta. You still got the wheel chocks on? I thought I pulled them. Dope. Duh. All right, now we're good. Line up here. And we're going to take off and head on left. So it'll be just a shot out, climb out over the mountain in front of us. All right. A little high idle. Let that come up real quick. Let's take this cargo home. And we're rolling. Need more speed. Where are we at? Here we go.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Yes, got it off the Just Flight website. Oh, flaps all up. Oh. Trim it out. I think trims out beautifully. And we're just going to head up this valley. And eventually Oh, it looks like we're just right on path here. All right. Let's go 10,000 feet. Autopilot on. Always remember you got to pull the torque back before you manipulate the door.
500.
The inertial separator. That's your song, terrain ahead, terrain ahead. Nice. All right, it's just swinging us to get on path. So I didn't go direct. That works for me. So we're still climbing out. Might have to take over. I'm going to try to get through that notch right there. We might not have to. So let's see. There might be... Oh, okay, this works out perfectly, actually. So we're coming on the GPS path, and it's going to take us right here. So we just keep climbing out. Later on, go back and to the takeoff, and the terrain ahead was matching up with the song. Nice. I did that on purpose, you know that. All right, 1,000 feet to go. 90 knots. It's probably VY. I gotta find out all the... Gotta check out the charts in the manual and find out all the speeds. I'll have this locked in. I'll have a flow. I'll have all the speeds. And definitely take this and to my virtual cargo airline and do some UPS ops, some feeder ops with it. Definitely going to be my mainstay over here. Probably going to bring my my on-air company back to life. Do some flights over here. So 10,000 is not enough. So let's go. Go to 11. That might be a good shorts video. Oh, we'll look at it. We'll look at it. We'll see. Cut to it. When the terrain ahead matches the music vibe. It's a shame I got the weather bug, because it would have been cool with all the clouds hanging in the mountains. And certainly wind does make it much more challenging. Oh, this one's called Coffee and You, so it's fitting. So we got 1,300 pounds of coffee on board. So we're just heading back to that valley. So the airport is actually, we're going direct, so it's right off our nose. So it sits nestled along the river here. The original one was actually down on the coast, but they closed that. But the scenery is insane in Papua New Guinea. If you guys ever want a challenge, I highly recommend this area flying. And if you get the Orbx scenery packs, which I also recommend, there's 5 of them. They're not terribly expensive. That gives you nearly 25 modeled airports, pretty much all the airports in the Highlands. I mean, some of the airports are such that you dip into the valley and you turn in, and you're actually bringing it into the runway in a climb. Kind of like if you ever seen the movie Air America, and you saw the one scene where they're flying the PC-6, and Mel Gibson brings it in that airport. That's kind of how it is. You're kind of landing in a climb angle with some power on, so that you don't just drop out of the sky. There's a lot of strips in here that have that kind of vibe to them. And this is the perfect plane to do it in. The other one's the Kodiak. That's coming out soon too. The 2024 version of the Simworks Studios Kodiak 100 is dropping March 27th. They did announce a release date. And that's another good one to come into this area with. It's a smaller version of it's essentially this plane, just a smaller version. It's like a couple feet shorter in the wingspan. I think it's like 3 feet shorter in the body. What's cool about the Kodiak from Simworks is that they do have all the models. They have executive, combi, cargo, full cargo. The combi version is what Mission Bush Pilot flies. Where you can take the seats in and out. Yeah, so there's no need for ATC, or there's no real good ATC. Even sim or Say Intentions doesn't even do it very well, because the way they do radio communications over here is completely different. A lot of times they're operating on HF band. So Say Intentions would have to, beyond ATC definitely doesn't work. Say Intentions would have to like add a Papua New Guinea model where you report to departure and radio control, your position and your time expected, because if you miss your report, they start activating search and rescue. So you have to, there's no IFR flight plans into these villages, but they keep track of where you're going, where you're at. With all the mountains, it must be hell for radios. Yeah, you watch Mission Bush Pilot, and he'll make a radio call on VHF, and it's there's nothing. So he'll switch to HF, and you barely hear the controller. But you land at you land at these mountain airports, and you got to call the controller and tell them that you've arrived at your destination, so they can cancel search and rescue. I lost my my Navigraph. My iPad ducked out. I don't know which way they're landing at NADZAP. Well, we could certainly drop down now. Let's go down to 5,500. So for the autopilot, I'm using my wing control FCU, and I have I'm using the generic Asobo MobiFlight profile for it. Works with the autopilot. The airport's on this side of the river, I believe. It's actually right here, where this feeder river meets the main river. It's like in this little notch right here. I'll actually make a straight in approach. The runways run this way. It's 6 and 24 is the runway headings. I remember when I flew over here. Doesn't matter for us because we have no wind, so might matter for Billy. He's not experiencing the bug. 1,000 feet to go. Let's do autopilot off. The airport right there. Flaps 10. We don't need full flaps. White arc, let's go flaps 20. Turn to final. That's how bush pilots do it. No pappies, so just do a whole visual thing. It would probably a little high, but slink it in there. And welcome to NASDAQ. Clear the runway, and then we'll see if catch Billy landing here. Brake on. Nice. Nice landing. So we'll head up over here and drop off our cargo. Flaps up. I got this scenery off of Flight Sim TO. Do have all the sceneries in the description. This is the passenger area. Feel the music. All right, parking brake on. And we'll just do one final shutdown for old time's sake. Avionics 2 come off. Actually, both avionics. Got... It comes to idle for 20 seconds. Or low idle for 20 seconds. It's off, that's off. That's off. Welcome to Nadzab Airport. Is that one flashing? Oh, fuel pumps. Yep. Use pump off. Battery off. Because it starts up pretty quick, so we'll just get out here and unload our cargo. Yes, yes. All right. This was fun. This plane is fun. That's all there is to it. This plane is fun. And I don't normally recommend, well, I do recommend the stuff that I like and works and everything like that. I recommend this one. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. All right, guys. So let's get on board. Let's look at the replay of the landing here. This was 154 or something like that feet per minute. You can't do. I didn't say what my landings were on the thing because for some reason it doesn't really work very well on regular runways, like landing on grass. The landing calculator or monitor goes crazy. All right, let's get all the lights on. Oh, we wanted to see how much did we beat our engine up. Yeah, 10%. There was a couple full power takeoffs there. Not too bad. Could do better. All right, fly it up, battery. And get the unit. Set this up. Get the engine fired up. Clear prop. Yeah, we'll watch a couple replays and then I got to get going, guys. Got a pork tenderloin to make. Best PT6 sound in the sim. Hands down. So let's get flaps 20 in. That's where we had it. And all right, let's check out the replay. With a stutter in there with the replay. Tiny bounce there, tiny bounce. But not a bad one to end, especially after our Zendeni landing. Wind it back. All right, guys. Fun plane, fun scenery. Good company. What more could you ask for? I want to thank everybody for coming along for this flight. Everybody who dropped in. We had a new subscriber to the channel and many more. We had Limp in the chat, Billy, Holden. This was fun. On to the next one, guys. Saturday is the next stream. 1 p.m. We're going to go, it's going to be a members only live stream as appreciation for the members of the channel who are supporting me, and I really do appreciate it. So we're going to do a little fun trip in the Caravan. Fly in. We're going to be flying in northwestern Montana. I'm going to go to Flathead Lake. I don't know the route yet, but I'll definitely post it in the Discord. And I'm going to try to sneak in another stream somewhere in between there, because I really want to check out the Flight Effects Piaggio, which is now 2024 native. So I'm going to try to sneak in one, but definitely the next one is going to be Saturday. All right, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. I'm Virtual Flight Diaries. My name is John. See ya.